Hey, good day, traders. Dennis Wilburn, the AutoPilot Trader. Good things come in three. And for this week's session of Trade Your Way to Wealth and Financial Freedom, I'm going to be talking about three questions to ask yourself every trading day to make sure you're on the right track for trading. Three stocks that are just setting themselves up to move to the downside. So if you're in these stocks, you want to get out. If you're not in these stocks, you may look at a short trade. So let's jump into today's session right now. And remember, if you're first time finding us on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel. Recommend it to some friends. I've been doing this a long time, and I am a winning trader. You want to take advantage of that seriously. So let's jump in to the session right now. Good afternoon, everybody. This is Dennis Wilburn, the Autopilot Trader, and welcome to today's session of Trade Your Way to Wealth and Financial Freedom. Anil Parikh is joining us from Delaware. He is the leader of the Delaware IBD Meetup Group. Welcome, Anil.
Thank you. Glad to be here. Glad to be back. Glad you're back.
Yes, I am so thankful to be back. We're in the process of replacing our car that went up in flames before we left. And that was exciting times. Has anybody besides me had any near-death experiences? That fire in the car got me to thinking. And over my lifetime, I've had about 10 plus near-death experiences where it could have been very bad, all the way from earthquakes in California to crashes on top of the aircraft carrier and all that kind of stuff. Was a lot of, well, I won't say it was a lot of fun, but it was certainly a lot of things that gave us a time to pucker up. All I know is I'm very thankful to be here with you today, and I know that one of the things, and I definitely believe guardian angels were there to keep that fire from turning out worse than what it did. I think Steve is still recovering from his knee surgery, I believe. And so we'll see what happens with that. So Anil, you said that it was this week has been a little bit challenging regarding the trading.
Yes. As I look back, maybe ever since February, March or something, it just got gradually challenging.
Have you been able to research or gone back and taken a look at that to see what the issue was?
I think one of the biggest issue for me personally, I think it's goes into the mindset. My system gave me beautiful signals, but I get wrapped around and not believe the signal the day it comes.
And
wait for more confirmation, and then it goes against you, particularly because this market has been very choppy.
Yes. Yeah. This is it's kind of a meat grinder kind of market here lately. And so that's a challenge. And so, hey, I want to encourage you to hang in to the end today, guys, because I'm going to be covering a bonus 3 stocks that you might want to take a look at. I know Anil's got a great stock that he picked. I've got one that I've picked. If you're over there on the YouTube channel, I want to welcome you all over there. And just pop in and say hi. Tell me who's over there. If you have any questions, drop it down into the chat box. I am monitoring that. And so let's go ahead and kick off today and get started. Remember, all the materials that we do present are for training purposes. Traders should paper trade any new method prior to the risk of your own personal capital. Past performance is not an indication of promised or a promise of future performance. As you can see, here's what's happened in November. November has been a challenge. I was gone for about a week and a half, 2 weeks out of this November timeframe, and I want to thank you all who sent the kind words. My mom's celebration of life service was phenomenal. I'm glad I had the space to be able to really recognize, because Mom had been in tough times for about the past 2 years. And so it was nice to kind of reflect on her from her past life and what a truly remarkable woman she was. I mean, just absolutely phenomenal. And so I'm grateful for that. So here's where we're sitting as of on the 4th of November. And here's where we sit today. As you see, The Dow is hanging in there, doing okay, but the NASDAQ has continued to weaken. The S&P has continued to weaken, and of course, the Russell is continued to weaken also. I dropped about 0.5% this week so far. The question I have for you, okay, if you could basically just type this in the chat box, not the Q&A box, but the chat box, because it's open for everybody now, is what is your biggest fear about the economy or about this market right now? What's your biggest fear? If you could just lay in an answer there. And if you're on the YouTube, hey, drop on in there in the chat box, please. I'd appreciate that. And we'll come back to that in just a little bit. So what is the market doing? Let's take a real quick look at the S&P, and then we'll get into the particular stocks that Anil and I have selected for this week. There are so many classic patterns that are setting up on the indexes and on individual stocks. This is an absolutely classic move we see here on the S&P, the spiders representing the S&P. And what I mean by that, well, one is this move from here to here was an exact move from this high to this high. So it was very symmetric. And then it pushed on up, pushed a little higher, and look how close it came to the 1272 extension, but it couldn't get all the way up to the 200-day moving average. That 200-day moving average is still looming. We still have the downtrend looming. And anytime you push up like this and it stops short, that's a sign of weakness. Now, the market kind of sell off, not quite a reversal signal there, but it's close to being a hanging man. Came down, hit off the 8-day moving average and did a rebound, and then is selling off today. What's different that I see about this particular market rally is, from what we've seen earlier in the year, is that we came down, put in some higher lows, higher highs, done a breakout. And so the big question I have right here for the S&P is this a failure where we're going to drop back down into the Fibonacci's, or is it just a pullback into, let's say, the 50-day or the Fibonacci here? Which is it going to be? One of the things I like to do when we have situations like this, and I'll show it to you really quick, is I'm going to remove this Fibonacci here because it has already served its purpose, and let's throw in another Fibonacci. Now, what should that next Fibonacci be? Well, we have a couple of them. One, we can say, let's take this one from here to here. And so that gives me one place where if we pull back just that Fibonacci part back there, we're back down to about 380 on the S&P. That may be a good place for it to bounce. Another way to do this fib is, let me erase that one, remove that drawing, and just go in and just do a simple Fibonacci. So let's grab this, back down to this low, and again, it actually puts it down about the same place, about the 385 level. So this fib box here, or actually it's down to about the 618 or 38% retracement. That's where we can anticipate a bounce. That makes a heck of a lot of sense. So if you are looking to trade the S&P, I would look in two different places. I would look to, one, any retest back up towards this past high, take a basically downside trade, or do the inverse leverage ETF on the S&P, on the spiders, or when it gets down into this level here, I would consider that a low risk, high probability entry zone. And if it bounces there, that's where we want to get on. Because what we may be seeing is just a very simple up, flag down to support, and then a bounce higher. That, which brings into the question of, will that be the precursor to the Santa Claus rally that everybody's anticipating? Now, we have other dark clouds on the horizon, though, in that big tech's doing a lot of layoffs. We've had Goldman Sachs coming out and say things are going to get really crummy really fast going into next year. So that may push the even further into the recession area. Now there's two different ways of looking at it. We could basically be afraid and scared and fearful, or we can say we're going to be getting set up for an absolutely phenomenal time to grow some wealth, because the majority of wealth is actually grown coming out of a bad recession. So I've gone on long enough. Anil, what are your thoughts? There you go.
On SPY, my system gave a buy signal a few days ago on the daily, but on weekly, the signal still has not come.
Okay.
Sell signal that came in early this year is still in effect. So
okay,
I'm waiting to see if it converts this time or not going to convert.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, as you look at your charts this weekend, everybody just take a look at it and say, okay, where define your areas like I've just done here. I really like that 50-day moving average, and it's a 50% Fibonacci retracement. So I really like that area. It's also close to the 20-day moving average, and we could see that. Or what we could see going into the end of the year is one other thing, Anil, is we can see this. Pull back, rally, and then to the downside if the recession is going to be going on. So that's what we've got going on the indexes. Great answers. Mohammed says, it's going to last longer than we think. With regarding the what's going on with the economy, Jeff was saying the recession next year, that may be more severe than predicted and last longer than predicted. Recession, Fed speakers speaking out to keep the market down. That's interesting, Nicole. And then 2023 earnings will readjust downward, and the market has not reflected it yet. The market remains anchored on hope and related less to the interest rate increases. And then Mark Biden, the unknown, not recognizing the signals for the bear heading further south or a bull breakout. Great stuff. Thanks, guys, for the comments there. I really appreciate that. What about you, Anil? What's your biggest fear with our biggest angst regarding the current market?
I look at it as a coming challenge, and whatever it may be, what should I be doing in spite of the challenge? That's my current thought process. So I'm not worried about one way or the other. It's going to do what it's going to do. Question is, what am I going to do?
Yeah. I've been really working on myself to basically try to move out of trying to label the market either good or bad and all that kind of stuff. And as Mark Douglas talks about, just become an observer of price action and then take the trades when it's triggered in the story. And then, it's basically just a matter of trade the chart in front of you and recognize if we're in a continuing downtrend, I want to take profits on if I take a bullish trade, I want to take profits very quickly and make sure my stops are tight. I have few predictions about what may transpire. I think it could get a lot worse before it gets better. But again, at this point, until we actually have the chart in front of us, it's an opinion only. So I want to hold my opinions very loosely and trade the facts of the chart going forward. So great stuff. So Anil, let me get in here and let's take a look at your stock, ALGM, correct?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Okay, daily chart on the right, weekly chart on the left.
Yeah, this one popped up in my screening just last night. Passes the parameters that I have, and it's in the base if you look at the weekly chart.
Yes.
So that's the reason I picked it. I don't know this company. I just picked it based on the screening analysis.
Okay. Well, I like this volume action over here. That means somebody's in there buying this puppy. And you said it had really high volume or high accumulation distribution?
Accumulation distribution. Also, the up-down volume ratio is 1.7.
Oh, okay.
Which is very high.
Excellent. So I love it. Yeah, I like this stock. I mean, it's awesome. let's take a look at, I found some that were resting in the oil patch. On the oil patch they're out of sync with each other. The momentum for the weekly and the daily, with the weekly momentum looking like it wants to do a more significant pullback. So I've tried to stay out of that. And the one I settled on is this one, and I think it's in the biotech arena, CPRX. And the CPRX has a really nice little pattern going on here. I can draw in this line here. There's the uptrend line. And as it stands right now, we're past earnings, and it's got huge volume for a smaller stock. I mean, look at it, average 3.2 million shares. So it's pulling back into the breakout area. And so this congestion zone, or I like it for a purchase in between the 220 and the 8-day moving average at about $15 or so, with a stop loss just slightly below this area here, or 5%. So I like CPRX. It shows an A for the accumulation distribution, and I think it's the close to the top of the industry group also. Thoughts, Anil?
I just looked at your stock under my system, and both weekly and daily buy signals are in progress, which is a good thing.
Okay, so that's where I'm at. And I just want to highlight something to everybody just real quick, is see how price actions have pulled back into this zone right here, about the $14.80 to $15 area. That's the zone that I'm shooting at, and I'll target shoot a potential buy in that area. And then if it slips below that, I'm gone. And we'll look to load up on it again, because I think it's going to stay a good stock. So, okay, excellent. So now you're ready for the bonus. And I'm not going to be covering anybody's stock today. I'm just going to provide you guys some of the other things. If this market continues to weaken, here's a couple of things that I'm looking at potentially doing either shorts on and or a put type call. This is a classic move all the way back up into the downtrend line, 50-day moving average. It's staying below it. TSI on the daily chart is starting to roll over, and I've got a spinning top, and today is a bearish engulfing pattern. And so any type of retest up towards the middle section of that candle, I would look at. You could either go short on Google, or if you're an option trader, provides an excellent opportunity to trade to the downside. Our buddy Facebook and or Meta, again, it has basically rallied up into a level of past resistance and now is rolling over. TSI on the weekly chart, daily chart, crossing back down to the other side. Excellent shooting star on the weekly chart. So I'd look at also, I could almost do a short this right here, or if it drops down below the 109 level, short it there with an expected move down to about $100. And a stop loss would just be slightly above that swing low right there, or slightly above today's high. Number 3, Netflix looks absolutely beautiful to take a move to the downside. I will look to trade this on Monday, either a short. I will either do a short, or I will do either a short or a option trade, probably an option trade. Because let me see here. Yeah, it's easy to borrow. And watch that. I mean, looking for a pullback back into and this may be just a really nice little pullback into the 200-day moving average, but a shift on this. This is very, like I said, it looks like a really good opportunity. If the market continues to weaken, wait for a move back into here. And it could be like a somewhere between a $10 to $20 move to the downside. So that's the 3 short stocks that I'll share with everybody. Anil, I don't know, you don't short, do you?
No, I do not.
Okay. If you are interested, I will put a little bit, a short video over on the YouTube channel. And so you need to go over the YouTube channel, Market Tech Talk. Subscribe, recommend it to your friends, because we've got some really cool new stuff coming. And also we've got some excellent things that are going to be taking place on next Friday, we're going to do a little bit of shake up and shift up on the Trade Your Way to Wealth and Financial Freedom that I think everybody is going to enjoy, but you got to come back next week to see it. So does anybody have any questions?
Netflix on the Chaikin system, and that has just turned bullish, and relative strength versus SPY also has turned very bullish.
Okay, thank you.
I don't know what it's going to do.
Yeah, well, that's one of the things I'm looking at that, Anil. When I take a look at that, to me, when I see this, I can understand where a person would be, where they would be very bullish on this. But what am I after here? I'm looking for the potential of it moving back down towards this breakout support area. Mm-hmm. And it is far enough to where if I pick it up about midsection of today's candlestick, and even if it gets down to the 20-day moving average, that's $10. If it gets down into the 34-day moving average, that's 19. And for an option trader, you're just licking your chops and going, oh, that's a $28 move, and it works really well. And I'd be looking at doing a spread on that, just so I can just kind of fire it and forget it, doing a bear put spread. So thank you for that information. Yeah, because like I said, what I'm seeing on the chart today is I'm showing I got a bearish reversal signal on the weekly chart. But where's it going to go? Probably just down to the moving averages. Hey, learn to be a winning trader. And a part of that is just to put together winning trading routines and habits at the end of each day. I encourage everybody to, and I'm going to be bringing out in 2023 a new trade journal for those who want something that's a little bit more simplified, where all you're going to collect is what you're trading and then document what went great, what did you learn, and how can I improve going forward, and do that on a daily basis and record it will be excellent. So, hey, do you struggle with not knowing when, where, and how to enter positions? I used to freeze, literally, I would freeze up on this and choke when I would try to enter trades, and I'd fat finger them. So, if that's you, it's time for a new beginning. Become an autopilot trader. Take a test flight for 3 months. And you can find out more information right there. And that link will be in the description on YouTube. Well, that's it for today. Anil, thank you. It is so good to be back. I'm so excited. I'm excited about getting to chat with you tomorrow, or not tomorrow, but next week, about your system and about possibly I would like to do some additional work together, combining what we're doing. So with that, I just say aloha, trade well, prosper, mahalo, and God bless. So we will see you next week. Thanks, Anil.
Thank you.
Good day, everybody.